Hey, if you're watching this video and thinking of moving to Odessa, Florida, just north of Tampa, then you're going to want to stick around and watch this video because I'm going to break down the pros and the cons of living in Odessa, Florida. And I'm gonna give you the good, bad, and ugly, including some stuff that other places might not be mentioning, because I've been selling homes here for the last 20 years and I've been talking to the customers that we've been working with to get their input as well. So this is a comprehensive guide in my opinion, and I'm gonna put it all in this video, tie it up in a nice little bow, and present it to you guys so you have all the information that you need to make the best decision for yourselves. So strap yourselves in, grab your notebook, grab your popcorn, and let's dive right into the video. Okay guys, so like I said, I've been selling homes here for the last 20 years in Odessa, Florida. And during that time, I've seen some people that have loved it and thanked us so much for making their dreams come true. And there's been some people that have moved in and moved out. And on their way out, they told us why they're doing it and what they didn't enjoy. So I want to make sure I give you guys a balanced overview, because it's not all rainbows and unicorns and not everywhere is perfect. And Odessa in general is a great place to live. It's really, really popular right now. But because it's so popular, that can come with its own problems as well. So like I said, let's dive right into the content of the video. I can't wait to bring this to you. Okay, so pro number one is going to be just the vibe of Odessa in general. It's kind of close to where it needs to be close to, but it still maintains a little bit of that rural feel. At the moment, especially, it's a really, really good blend of the two. You know, Wesley Chapel can feel a little bit overdeveloped sometimes, no matter how popular and how great it is. Odessa is kind of a contrast to that. You can be driving around Odessa and still run across cow pastures pretty easily, and still a great amount of nature preserves and wooded areas and green space left there. Although that's tipping slightly towards being more developed as time goes on, at the moment, the balance I think is really, really good. So I'm definitely going to offer that up as a pro, is kind of the feel, the more rural nature. It's kind of like rural suburban, I guess you would say. I love the feel of it. I think you guys will too. I'm going to say pro number one. Now, pro number two, there's going to be a lot of new construction in Odessa, or at least homes that were built in the last 5 years anyway, as well as new construction. And that means that, one, you're not likely to have the ongoing maintenance issues as far as having to replace roofs or update the properties. And it also means, because new construction, there's going to be great incentives from the builders out there, such as paying down the interest rate or giving you money towards closing costs. So that really saves some money in buyers' pockets, where they're not having to move into these properties and spend tens of thousands of dollars on renovating kitchens, changing flooring, replacing ACs or roofs. It just kind of takes all of that off the table. So certainly the choice of new construction or newer homes in Odessa is a very positive point, and pro number two. Now, pro number three, and I could easily have put this as number one because it's probably one of the most popular reasons that people will live there, is going to be the location of Odessa, Florida. Now, Odessa is about 25 miles north of Tampa, and it's right along the 589 Suncoast Parkway toll road. So access is really, really convenient. You come off of the State Road 54 exit and you are basically right there. So if you're going to be commuting to Tampa at all, or you're just someone who likes to take advantage of all of the stuff that Tampa has to offer, and you see yourself going there frequently, Odessa is really going to be one of the best placed suburbs to take advantage of that. You can be at the Tampa airport in like 25 minutes or so. So it's really, really convenient. And because it's a little bit further west than, say, Wesley Chapel or Lutz or Land O'Lakes, it's a great jumping off place for any of the beaches along the Gulf Coast, which are some of the best in the country, if not the world. So it really has you taken care of in a number of different facets as far as the location goes. Now, pro number four is that it's going to have some really, really cool communities there as well. And what jumps out immediately is somewhere like Starkey Ranch, which when they were building that a few years back was really kind of a groundbreaking community and just seems to expand and expand and expand. They have 2,400 acres of green space in there, and that also butts up to 18,000 acres of nature at JB Starkey Wilderness Park. So there's some really, really great stuff there as far as hiking trails. You can be close to nature, bike riding, any of those things where you want to get back to the earth and kind of experience the outdoors. Odessa is going to be a great place for that, and Starkey Ranch in particular has some really, really cool stuff in there. They also have their own school in there. They have their own kind of community park and sports fields in there as well. And it's really the trend moving forward, is that a lot of these communities are having their own amenities and schools and stuff like that built within them. Like I said, Starkey Ranch was kind of groundbreaking locally at that point, but it's really one of the standout communities in the Tampa Bay area. And then there's somewhere like Van Dyke Farms, which is a little bit older, so sometimes it kind of gets overlooked, but much lower HOA in there, so it's a lower cost of living, and it still has some really awesome amenities. There's some really great neighborhoods in Odessa that I love. Be sure to reach out to me to learn about my favorites, and I can send you a free list of homes in those areas in the price points that you're looking in. Now, pro number 5 is that there's going to be more and more restaurants going in on State Road 54, and already in the last 12-15 years or so, I used to drive down there like 3 or 4 times a week to go to our office in Trinity. 54's become so built up, which is kind of great because it gives you all of the amenities right on your doorstep. So you have all of the public supermarkets, you have a whole host of restaurants, and there's new services going in there as well. And it's only going to continue to grow. So there's going to be more and more stuff right on your doorstep to save you having to drive out west to US 19, or save you having to go out to Wesley Chapel or south to Tampa for some of those things that maybe aren't quite all there at the moment, but they certainly will be in the future. So that's really cool to see. It's a very convenient location. It's very well serviced by those things. So that's a great pro. And then finally, like I said, there is that J.B. Starkey Wilderness Park, which has some really great offerings. So I don't want to miss any, but it's camping, equestrian, picnic, hiking, bike trails, and more. So again, if you're someone that loves that kind of stuff, and we're in Florida where the weather's so great, you should be taking advantage of that, then it has it right there on your doorstep for you. And a lot of people travel from other areas around Tampa Bay to get to that. It's right on your doorstep in Odessa. So definitely a huge pro if you're an outdoorsy person to have that stuff right there and to be able to take advantage of it all the time. Hi guys, Ross Hardy from the Hardy team at Remax, and whether you're 9 days or 99 days away from making a move, I would just encourage you to do your research by watching more of the videos on our channel and reach out to us with any questions that you might have. There's never a stupid question, there's never a time that's too early to start doing your research. So we're local experts. I've been selling homes in the area for 20 years, help over 200 families a year, and we would love to help you. The YouTube folks are my favorite folks to work with. Now you can call us, text us, email us at the contact information, set up a Zoom, leave a comment. And while we're talking about comments, please be sure to like this video, leave a comment and let me know what you think, or if you want that free list of homes. Also be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell. That way, anytime we release new videos about Trinity, Odessa, Wesley Chapel, Lutz, Land O'Lakes, Spring Hill, Brooksville, or West Chase, you're going to be kept up to date with all of them. And we're also doing new home tours as well. And I love looking at those, I'm sure, as much as you do. Anyway, all of that to say, we're a resource that's here for you when you need us. I won't take any more time. Let's get back into the cons. Alright guys, now like I said, nowhere is perfect. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, and Odessa is certainly no exception there. I have heard things from customers over the years where they come out and they're griping about certain things. And there's certain things I've noticed as well that I consider to be cons were I to be living there. So I want to break those down for you. Let me know what you think. But con number 1 is going to be the amount of development that's happening there. And whereas that can be viewed as a positive as far as providing the services and amenities, there are a big number of people who have lived in Odessa or around there for quite some time who really don't like the amount of development that's happening there, and they're trying to take a stand against it. So I'm thinking of like Project Keystone, where they're trying to stop certain projects and trying to maintain some of that green space that's there currently. And Odessa, I don't think, is any different to, Wesley Chapel or even Spring Hill or some of those areas that are undergoing that amount of development. But certainly it's a very stark contrast to what it was 15-20 years ago, and that's upsetting a lot of people. And like I explained, we are seeing that transition away from rural suburban into more suburban. So, take that into consideration. I think that's probably a con for most people, so that's why I want to put it in that category. Now, con number 2 is going to be the home prices, because you have that luxury of being one of the best located suburbs as far as access to Tampa and the beaches go. You certainly are paying a price for that. So the average sold home price is $629,000. Now, compare that to Wesley Chapel at about $425, or even Trinity, literally just down the road, for $507, and you can see how much higher that is. Yeah, there are some newer homes and bigger homes there, but in general, the prices per square foot are just that little bit higher. Now, all of these numbers were pulled from Realtor.com, so I think the stats are pretty good. And it's at a time, of course, where people are trying to make their dollar stretch further because the interest rates are higher and home prices saw that big explosion during the pandemic. And Odessa was one of those areas that really just has been riding that crest of the wave. And the price per square foot and the affordability is a little worse there than most of the other suburbs that I study. Really, only West Chase is more expensive than Odessa at the moment. Now, con number 3 is going to be that jobs really are a little bit thin on the ground there. So, unless you're going to be in the hospitals, or if you're doing like a service job, retail, something like that, then you're probably going to be commuting down to Tampa to find a well-paying job. Now, because of its proximity to Tampa, like I mentioned, that commute is a little bit easier to do than a lot of the suburbs, but some people are just going to want that job a little bit closer to home. And like I said, Odessa doesn't have a whole host of options as far as that goes. And then another con is going to be basically because of all of the construction that's going on there at the moment is it can cause quite a bit of traffic and quite a bit of disruption. There's noise, there's construction zones going on, you're being rerouted. It has that unfinished look and feel to it at the moment. So a lot of people don't like that. And when you compare it to something like West Chase especially, that's basically built out at this point and looks absolutely stunning every time you drive through it, living in somewhat of a changing area and a construction zone can get a little bit tiresome for some people. So take that into account as well. Now, con number 5 is going to be the dreaded CDD fee, Community Development District. And basically that is a bond fee that goes into your property taxes that pays for the infrastructure that goes in initially in these neighborhoods. They don't put it in the price of the homes. It gets paid off in a yearly basis in the tax bill. And a lot of people don't love that CDD fee. And of course, the CDD fees seem to be getting higher and higher and higher with each new community that's built. And most of the neighborhoods in Odessa are going to have a CDD fee. So we do get people that come to us and say, I don't want to pay one of those at all. So in that case, Odessa's pretty much going to be off your radar at that point. So if you want to stay away from CDD fees, you might struggle in Odessa. Just keep that in mind as well. Now, while we're on the housing subject, still another con of Odessa could be the sheer amount of apartments that are being built there. I mean, I'm not kidding, guys, when I tell you that every single time I drive through there, I'm pretty sure there's another apartment complex going up that wasn't there the last time. And a lot of people have a negative connotation when they think of apartments. Whether that's true or not in reality, who knows? That's, again, going to be your discretion to make that judgment call. But a lot of people don't love that. And Odessa has a ton of them going up there. Potential con could be the number of apartments being built. And then finally, because I'm a foodie, one of the cons I'm going to say is the lack of variety in the restaurants that are there, especially because it's such a growing area and it's pretty popular. I mean, it doesn't have as many options, I feel, as Brooksville, where I live, which is a really, really small city, and certainly nowhere near the choices of Wesley Chapel. So, it doesn't have that food scene, that kind of, kitschy mom and pop place food scene. It's a lot of chains along that State Road 54 corridor, which personally I'm not a fan of the majority of those things. I like to find those little holes in the wall or the little locally run places. So again, Odessa doesn't have a ton of those. You might need to go further afield. A lot of people that might not bother, but like I said, I'm a foodie. That's a big deal for me. I would really, really struggle with that. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the pros and cons of living in Odessa, Florida. I hope that gave you a really balanced view, and I hope you enjoyed the video and you've left knowing a little bit more than when you came into it. Now, like I said, whether you're 9 days or 99 days away, we're here to answer any questions that you might have, not only about Odessa, but any of the other suburbs north of Tampa. That's always been our specialty over the last 20 years. We've helped over 2,000 families move in that time. Be sure to watch our other videos on the channel and be sure to like and comment on this video. Let me know what you think about Odessa based on what I've just told you, or if you think there's better alternatives out there. And be sure to hit the subscription and notification button. That way, anytime we release any videos, not just about Odessa, but any of the other suburbs that I've mentioned in here, or the new home tours, you'll be the first to be alerted and you won't miss anything. Like I said, that's going to do it for today, but we'd love to be your resource for real estate and show you around town if you're looking to move here or anywhere north of Tampa. Till next time, I'm Ross Hardy from the Hardy team. It's time to love where you live.